Whoops, I'm not Buttercup Perv. Avatar is not as good as you say it is. It's an okay story. It's pretty good CGI that has certain scenes that look like a PS3 cutscene, and yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Decent story, very good CGI. I like the characters. The characters are probably the best part about it. Um, but it does not live up to what y'all talk about it. Like, don't get me wrong, it still holds up today as a really good movie. But y'all praise it like it's the motherload of CGI, and it's like, yeah, it was ahead of its time. But I would argue that Transformers had better CGI, and Transformers came out 2 years before this. Now, that's not to like compare Transformers to Avatar, because Avatar is pretty much completely CGI and mocap, versus Transformers being something altogether different. But they're kind of in the same realm, and I would argue that Transformers 2007 had way better CGI. But I digress. Some of y'all will look at this scene that's about to come up and be like, "Damn, this is the best shit I've ever seen." Like, this looks like a Tomb Raider scene. Tomb Raider. I've seen better. I can't. No, I haven't seen better than Tomb Raider, but it's pretty close. Of course, it gives me an ad. Perfect timing. I don't want to watch it anyway. Didn't even want to watch that. But y'all get the point. This is the Avatar 2, Avatar: The Way of Water review. I recorded a video last night just for my mic to be off the entire video, so here I am re-recording. Jake is so much more compelling as a father, because in the first one he pretty much just has nothing to lose, and he just goes to be a replacement for his brother. He even calls himself a grunt, Jarhead, all that crap. He doesn't really have anything to live for, to fight for, until he finds them, and then that's such a perfect like ending, right? So it goes from him being by himself and not really sure to knowing what he's doing, to finding this whole colony and this whole civilization that he realizes he wants to be a part of slowly throughout the movie, and that he eventually defends, right? So he starts off by himself and he ends with himself surrounded by family and people, right? The people. Why does Way of the Water low-key like do the same thing? Like, it is a little different because he's running because they came back, and he's running to protect the people. So I understand that. But then by the end of The Way of Water, he just ends up saying, okay, this is our fortress. We're going to defend it. I can't run anymore. But I was under the assumption that he understood that in the first one, if that makes sense. I don't know if that wasn't clear, or if I just read it wrong. But it kind of seems like he started off the movie the same way as he ended the movie, because he started off the movie, the second one, in his fortress. The forest is his fortress. They said it in the movie. It's his fortress. Just for him to run it back, and now the water is my fortress. What are we doing in Avatar 3? Are we going to flee somewhere else and make that our fortress, and then have a huge sea battle? And I will say that final battle was beautiful. The whale, Payakan. Hold on, I gotta look this up. Alright, Payakan is the best character in this movie. Like, I don't think there is any movie or film, show, whatever, that could really make me feel this way about a whale. Like, he really was the best character, the best developed character. Had the best action sequences, had the best plan, had the best moments. He's just the GOAT. All around. He's the GOAT. I want to see more of him in the movie. What else? Quaritch was pretty interesting when he found himself, and then Loki like wants to kill Jake, but also like has a really like sour spot for Neytiri because it's her arrows that shot him and kill him. Was pretty nice, and then his developing relationship with Spider it was interesting. I liked that Spider ended up saving him at the end. That was pretty nice, but it seemed unearned. I don't know, a lot of things in this movie seemed unearned. Also, Neteyam's death. I don't care what you have to say, but I really think that it was, I wouldn't say unearned, but it's bordering it. Because there's maybe 5 or 6 scenes with Neteyam like that are sourced around Neteyam, if that, right? The main one being the opening scene in or not the opening scene, but the scene within the first 15 minutes where he's hunting with his father, Jake, that they end up calling back to in the end after he connects with Iowa, I guess. It just seemed unearned. Like there wasn't really any character development. He yeah, there was a moment where Loak was like, "You're the warrior. I'm the disappointment," and he just looks at me. He's like, "Oh." But it's not like he changes. None of his quips change. None of the way he acts change. He still does the same stuff. He still does what he would have done before Loak says that, I think. And it just seems unearned, and it seems obvious because every single character, besides maybe Took because she's a child, was getting developed. Or at least I should say every new character was getting developed. Like Jake took a little bit of a fallback position in this movie. I think Loak definitely was more of a lead or a co-lead with Jake, because Jake definitely was still somewhat of a lead. But Neytiri was static throughout the movie. She was just a racist. Jake didn't learn shit. What he should have learned, instead of, "Oh, this is my fortress. This is what I fight for." Your family is your fortress. I thought when that little scene at the end where they're all laying on Payakin's fentanyl. I thought, like, okay, they understand that, because he literally said my biggest weakness is my family, and that's also my greatest strength. So you would assume that that's now your fortress, that you've come to terms with the fact that your fortress is your family, and home is where family goes, type of deal. Like, I thought that's where we were going. No, just the new setting. We just needed the fresh breeze. I don't know. I don't get that. But Kiri was another highlight and another high of this movie. Her connection with Awa and her battle with herself and not knowing who she was or who her father was, and wanting to, have all these answers to these questions that she's asking. It was nice. It was really good. I enjoyed watching it. I really want to see how they develop on her more in the second movie or in the third movie, and I hope they give her a bigger role, or at least an equal sized role to this movie, if that makes sense. Took is annoying. Took care until she gets older. Like, maybe she'll turn out to be some badass warrior like her mom. Hopefully not racist, but we'll see. What else? I'm looking at my notes here, chat. I'm looking at the notes. Korish's jealousy of Jake, like, that he showed to Spider, was actually kind of... It's in character. I just feel like it was pointless. Because the way they were doing it, it was almost like he wanted to do it to spite Jake, but at the same time impress Spider. And I just think he honestly would have just been doing it to spite Jake. But regardless, he did the shit, and it was pretty cool. That line, "Jake so late it the hard way." What the fuck do you think? That was pretty nice. Those fucking... the wing things, like the little winged, like, fish things that they get on their back to help them breathe. Those things are cool. Those things are pretty. This movie is just so beautiful. What else? When they were fighting, like, before they took, like, when the sea people, their kids were fighting with Kiri and Neteyam and Loak. What's up with the tail pulling? Like, that just seemed like out of... like, that's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up, bro. Bottom line. Three Brothers Rocks was beautiful. A really great scene. Probably the famous location besides that cove. Yeah, the Cove of the Ancestors. Whoops. I'm not Buttercup Perv. Really great movie. Editor here, aka me. So I'm editing the last minute and a half of the video, and the audio just cuts out. So, comics indulgent rating, 9 out of 10. This movie is great. Definitely has some flaws, but all the flaws and all the lows are made up for with the highs and what is good with this movie. It has made its way into my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and it's definitely more of a rewatchable movie than the first one, because I really just don't want to rewatch that movie. I'm probably going to, just so I can watch it again and be like, oh, yeah, it does look like a PS3 cutscene. At times. Shut up. But this movie I'm probably gonna watch again after I watch Fire and Ash tomorrow or today. And it's beautiful, and I think the story was done better than the first one too, because the first one, it was the original, obviously, it built upon it, it did a lot of world building, but this A definitely did more world building, and B, I just enjoyed the story more. I just really didn't like how it ended with him pretty much in the same position that he was in the beginning of the movie, but that's not a big enough nitpick for me to bring it down a whole other point or two. If someone were to try and debate me on this, maybe I could bring it down to an 8.58. I could see it happening maybe with a rewatch or two, but 9 out of 10. Eat my nuts. If you like the video, make sure you comment what your thoughts on this are, and if you're gonna hate and say you don't like, or that I'm stupid for thinking Avatar is a PS3 cutscene, you would be like the many people on my TikTok and Instagram. Go follow those. Those are in the description below, as well as, I don't know if I said this already, but subscribe and hit the little bell icon. You'll get notified when I post these videos. There will be another one tonight, or maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Probably take my time with it. For the third Avatar movie that I am going to watch. And if I happen to see a new Doomsday trailer during that, that would be great too. If I see the X-Men one, that'd be pretty cool too, but I've already seen it. I'm hoping that they release the new one, seeing as it was a new week, and they just released the Thor trailer. And after they released the Captain America trailer, like on stuff, they started showing the X-Men trailer, which was last week. Or the Thor trailer, one of the two. And then the X-Men trailer leaked. And then they released the Thor. By that logic, if they keep leaking it, we should be getting it. But that's off topic. This isn't even a Marvel video. Y'all have a blessed day. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.